Welcome back. Today we're showing off our green thumbs, or at least yours. You know, I don't have one. And explaining the science behind popular home garden remedies. NDSU Extension horticulturist Esther McGinnis joins me this morning. Great to have you here. I mean, I'm looking at the table right now and I'm going, okay, we got coffee, we got beer, we got chewing tobacco and Tabasco. This must be a good segment.
This is going to be a great segment, Chris. We're going to have a little fun today.
Let's start with the coffee. What are we doing here?
Now, with home remedies, you know, the claim is that we can go to our cupboards, go to our refrigerators, our pantries, and really find whatever ails our garden. But as a scientist, I have to know, I have to look at the research and find out, does this really work? Now, with the coffee grounds, there are a lot of garden gurus that say that coffee is good for our gardens, that it suppresses weeds, and that it changes the pH of the soil.
And it gives the plants caffeine and energy, right?
That's right. It perks them up. But if we look at the studies behind this, we do know that coffee grounds are acidic, and we have alkaline soils. Now, the alkaline soils means that we have high pH. But we're finding that if we use coffee grounds, we would have to use such a large quantity of them that it really would not be feasible. So our soil has incredible ability to buffer changes in pH. So you add a large quantity of this, it's not going to make a difference for pH. Now, it may suppress weeds, but it has these compounds in it that suppress the weeds, but the problem is it'll suppress the growth of the plants that you value.
Ah.
So your tomatoes and your geraniums, we have studies showing that it will be actually detrimental to their growth.
So myth number one, debunked. Don't use coffee. Here we've got some cleaning vinegar.
Yes. So this is just white vinegar that we have here. So another item from our cupboard. And the question is, will it kill weeds? See a lot of websites out there saying it's organic weed control. So you can take distilled white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and then you spray your weed seedlings. But we find that from a scientific point of view, there is acid in there. It's acetic acid, 5% by volume. Now, if you spray it on your weed seedlings, it'll kill the tops. But the problem is that it will not be absorbed by the rest of the weed. It won't go down into the roots. So you'll see that we'll have regrowth from those roots.
Is there something biologically going on where the weeds are going, oh, that's too much acid, I need to change? Really?
It actually acts as a contact herbicide. So the acid is too much for that weed to handle, at least the foliage, but it just doesn't get taken down into the roots. It's not absorbed systemically. So then you'll have regrowth of that weed. So we would say that it's not an effective herbicide.
All right, good deal. So I cannot wait to hear what you're going to say about how we're going to utilize beer as a home garden remedy. I'm not sure if this is for the actual gardener or the garden, but what are we doing here?
The claim with beer is that you can kill slugs with it. Now, you don't want to take your best quality beer. You would never take your microbrews. Take your...
Let's be economically sensible here, okay?
So you take your cheapest beer, it can even be flat. That's fine.
Even Keystone?
Sure.
All right.
No.
So what do you do with it?
What you do is you dig a little shallow depression in the soil. You put a bowl in the soil. The bowl needs to be, the rim needs to be even with the soil line. And then it should have vertical sides. You then fill that bowl up with beer, leaving about an inch of headspace.
And don't let your dog get into it.
That's right. Don't let your dog get into it.
So what does it do to the slugs?
Well, it does in fact track slugs. Not all species of slugs, but certain species. They like the yeast in the beer. So they'll come from just a very short distance around. They will then try and get to the beer. But remember, we left an inch of headspace. So with that inch of headspace, they will strain to try to get to the beer. They will fall in and drown.
That sounds mean, but at least they get to enjoy it because they probably have a couple of sips of beer before they, I mean, have you ever put like a video camera on this and watch them trying to get in and out? And
No, I haven't, but maybe we should check YouTube.
We should do that. You know, like the Minnesota DNR's got the camera on the bald eagle. We should do this for slugs in beer to see if this stuff really works. Okay, so now we go from beer to...
Well, Chris,
we're not done with beer yet.
we're not done with beer. It does work somewhat,
That was
but
very well said. We're not done with beer. I don't know if you're ever done with beer.
it does work somewhat, but there are better remedies out there than beer. Diatomaceous Earth. So this is made out of the diatoms of little sea creatures. They're silica-based, and it's almost like ground up glass. So you sprinkle this around your plants, and then that deters the slugs. They don't want to crawl across this ground up glass. But one problem with diatomaceous earth, if it rains a lot, like what we've been having lately, it loses its effectiveness. So you would have to reapply, or there's also another compound that we use that's iron phosphate. And that would be found in products like escargot and sluggo. There are a number of them. We're not advocating one particular
And you're
product.
suggesting that's a better solution than beer, yes?
Yes.
You realize that's heresy, right?
Yes, I do. But if you want to have fun, go for the beer.
All right, that sounds good. We can do that. All right, now we're going to move on from beer to chewing tobacco. Are we going to a Major League Baseball game here or what? This is hysterical.
Yes, I had to go into the convenience store and buy this yesterday. I
Oh,
was a
come
little
on, Esther.
embarrassed.
Be honest. You can tell us. You just pulled it out of your purse.
Now, the claim with chewing tobacco is that you can steep it in water and then take that solution and then spray insects with it and use
You were
it.
going to say make tea, but okay. So you spray with insects.
You spray the insects to supposedly kill them. Now, there's some problems with this. Now, the concentration of nicotine that's in your solution is probably so low that it's not going to work. But it is proven that nicotine will kill insects because it overstimulates them. So you know how we smoke cigarettes? I don't, but how people smoke cigarettes, it stimulates their nervous system. Well, this will overstimulate the nervous system of an insect.
Ah, all right, we got a couple minutes left. What's up with the Dawn? And then
Well, I still...
there's more with it. Wow, we're making tobacco tea. We're killing insects. What else?
Well, the problem is we don't advocate the use of chewing tobacco because it can spread disease. It harbors tobacco mosaic virus, which could in fact kill your plants. So it's really a double-edged sword. You just don't want to use the chewing tobacco because of it. Now, we're getting to Dawn. I'm not advocating any particular soap here, but what you can do is mix 1 to 4 tablespoons of dish soap per gallon of water. Put it into a spray bottle, and we can use it to control insects. Now, you know, this has been around for a long time, and the science does support this. And this works only with little tiny soft-bodied insects. You spray them, it washes off the waxy coating on these insects, they dehydrate and die. So, an effective home remedy.
Nice. Okay, so we've gone. What's up with the Tabasco sauce? Is this to like kick the hangover from the beer and chewing tobacco, or what?
Absolutely. So with the Tabasco sauce, the claim is that you can make a hot pepper sauce and spray that on your plants. So you take a few tablespoons, add it to a gallon of water, put in about a tablespoon of soap, and then that is your formulation. Or else you can just take the hot peppers you have growing in your garden and grind them up and make your own little formulation of that. You then spray your plants. Now, it won't kill the insects, but it will deter the insects from eating the foliage.
Ah, because they don't want the spice, or just...
That's right. They don't like that hot pepper sauce. It doesn't taste palatable to them.
Nice. Got about 30 seconds. You got a great book here. I want to give you a chance to share. And anything else you want to share with us?
Well, if you're looking for a reference, Jeff Gilman, who used to be on faculty at the University of Minnesota, wrote a great book called The Truth About Garden Remedies, What Works, What Doesn't, and Why. So if you're curious about home remedies and the science, this would be a book that you may want to read.
Esther, thank you for being such a good sport, because I am so bad at gardening. It's great to have someone like you that's patient with somebody like me. Stay with us. Much more coming up here on North Dakota Today. We'll be right back.